The thoracic cavity is the second largest hollow space of the body, enclosed by the rib, vertebral column, and sternum. Thoracic cavity have one organ that is very important for ultrasound. This is the heart, but the lungs that occupy the principal part of the thorax cavity are not good for ultrasound because are organs that are filled with gas, are filled with air. Air is not good for ultrasound. That make lungs are not good organ for ultrasound. But the heart and the aorta also, that are important organs too, are good for ultrasound. The thoracic cavity is separate of the abdominopelvic cavity by the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a very important structure that you can recognize very easy with ultrasound. Is the boundary between the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity. The thoracic cavity contains the lungs, the bronchi, part of the esophagus and trachea, and the heart and major blood vessels. There are a lot of organs in the thoracic cavity, but the lungs are not good for ultrasound. The heart is excellent for ultrasound. You can see here the bones of the thoracic cavity, the sternum, anterior, the ribs, lateral, and the vertebral column, posterior. This is the box of the thoracic cavity. The lung is the essential respiration organ in air-breathing vertebrates. Of course, it's logical. This part here is the diaphragm. You can see here in this picture there are too many little letters, but I don't know. I don't need that you remember everything here because lungs are not very important organ for ultrasound. Are important organs, of course, but are not good for ultrasound. I want you to remember the larynx, the trachea, the carina, that is the bifurcation of the trachea, primary right bronchus, primary left bronchus, and no more. For me, the very important part is here. Pleural cavity, parietal pleura, and visceral pleura. Parietal pleura is an epithelium that covers the internal wall of the thorax. Visceral pleura is an epithelium that cover the lungs, and between the parietal pleura and the visceral pleura, this is the pleural cavity that is near empty because only a little quantity of fluid is there. In other words, the pleural cavity is in vacuum. There are only a little quantity of fluid to let the lungs and the wall of the thorax cavity moving each other. This is the function of the parietal pleura and the visceral pleura, and this is very important because when there are accumulation of fluid in the thoracic cavity, sometimes it's in the pleural cavity. In other words, it's here possible that there are a pleural fusion between the parietal pleura and the visceral pleura. These membranes are called serosas, and we have also serosas in the heart that is called pericardium, and we have also other serosa that is very important, that is the peritoneum, that cover organs and the wall inside the abdominopelvic cavity. A membrane called the pleura line the cavity, parietal pleura, and continue over the lung, visceral pleura, and the rest of the cavity content. This is the visceral pleura, this is the parietal pleura, between is the pleural cavity. Remember that the pleural cavity in healthy people is empty, but sometimes when the person has some disease like pneumonia, cardiac failure, or other disease, can accumulate fluid in the thoracic cavity between the visceral pleura and the parietal pleura. You have this picture, is the same exactly to recognize the trachea, the thyroid cartilage, the carina, the principal right bronchus and the left bronchus, but remember that are organs that are not scanned with ultrasound. Organs that have air inside are not good for ultrasound. Trachea is a good landmark. We use trachea to scan the thyroid, but example, but the trachea itself is not one organ that commonly we study with ultrasound. Esophagus, the muscular membranous tube for the passage of food from the pharynx to the stomach. Esophagus is an organ with very important disease. Cancer of the esophagus is a very dangerous cancer, but ultrasound is not good for the esophagus. Esophagus have gas. Esophagus is best studied with endoscopy. Endoscopy let the technician of the doctor take biopsies inside the esophagus, and this is very good. This is an advantage that ultrasound have not. Ultrasound is not good for esophagus. Esophagus is an organ that in part is in the thoracic cavity. Sometimes you can see like a landmark when you are scanning thyroid, but the diagnostic of the esophagus disease is not made with ultrasound. You can see the picture of the different part of the esophagus, and of course the importance of the relation between the esophagus and trachea. Trachea is anterior to the esophagus. The mediastinum is very interesting because the mediastinum is a cavity inside the thoracic cavity. The mediastinum lies in the middle line between the two pleural cavities. In other words, the mediastinum is between the two lungs. It's a cavity inside other cavity. And the most important is that the heart, the most important organ that is in the mediastinum is the heart. It's divided into 4 parts, and superior, anterior, middle, and posterior compartments. Superior, anterior, this little part here, middle, the most important part with the heart, and posterior, that is the same aorta that is in the superior, is also in the posterior, aorta, trachea, and esophagus. You can see other picture with superior mediastinum, anterior mediastinum, middle mediastinum, that is the most important, and the posterior mediastinum, that is the continuation of the aorta, trachea, and esophagus. You can see here, this is the mediastinum here, between the lungs is the mediastinum, anterior the sternum, posterior the vertebral column, lateral the lungs, and inferior the diaphragm muscle. In the superior mediastinum lie the brachiocephalic veins. This is a brachiocephalic vein, right brachiocephalic vein, left brachiocephalic vein, together form the superior vena cava. This is the superior vena cava. You have also the branch of the aortic arch, the innominate artery, also called brachiocephalic trunk, the left commune carotid, and the left subclavian. Remember that the right subclavian and the right commune carotid are the bifurcation of the brachiocephalic trunk. The brachiocephalic trunk bifurcate in the right commune carotid and the right subclavian. The left commune carotid is directly from the aorta, and the left subclavian too. You can see here the picture better. Superior vena cava formed by the union of the right brachiocephalic vein and the left brachiocephalic vein. The innominate artery the left common carotid and the left subclavian. The right subclavian, that is a branch of the brachiocephalic trunk, and the right common carotid artery, that is also a branch of the brachiocephalic trunk, also known as the innominate artery. In the superior mediastinum lie the brachiocephalic vein, the branch from the aortic arch, the trachea, and the esophagus. Superior. You can see here trachea, esophagus, and innominate artery, also called brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid, and left subclavian artery. This is the ascending aorta, transverse aorta, and descending aorta. You can see also here the trachea with the carina and the bifurcation, the esophagus that continue for the abdominal cavity to finish in the stomach, and lymphatic ganglia that are in all the body, in this case are around the trachea. Mediastinum is here. Is a cavity inside other cavity. In the anterior mediastinum lie the thymus gland. That is really not a gland and is not functional in adults. It's something that only children have functional, and is an organ for production of white cells. The middle mediastinum is occupied by the heart. The most important organ of the mediastinum, of course, is the heart. It's a good organ for ultrasound. The posterior mediastinum is continuous with the superior mediastinum. In other words, in the posterior mediastinum we are going to find the aorta, the trachea, and the esophagus. Posterior mediastinum, that is here, trachea, esophagus, and aorta. Heart, thymus that disappear, and the superior that have the aorta, the esophagus, and the trachea. And contain the esophagus, primary bronchi, and the thoracic aorta. This is that is in the posterior mediastinum. Mediastinum contain the heart, the great vessel of the heart, aorta is the most important, the esophagus, not good for ultrasound, the trachea, not good for ultrasound, the thymus, that is in the anterior mediastinum and disappear when the people grow, and the lymph nodes that are in all the body. You have here X-rays of the thorax with the typical silhouette of the heart, the ribs, and the lungs that appear in black because the X-ray go through. You can see here a CT scan of the thoracic cavity. You can see that the lungs appear black because X-ray cannot distinguish gas. And you can see here the superior vena cava and the aorta that appear white because X-ray cannot go through the fluid. Other picture of the thorax, you can see the trachea appear black. The superior vena cava and the aorta appear white in X-rays. Other picture of the mediastinum. Pleural space. What is a epithelium? What is a serosa? And what is a pleura? Epithelium is a thin layer of tissue that has the function to cover other organs. Serosa is a special epithelium. It's an epithelium that lining the closed cavity of the body. You cannot touch serosas. You can touch other epithelium like the skin, like the oral mucosa, but not the serosas because the serosas are in the closed cavities of the body. And always serosa have two layers. One layer that cover the organ, other layer that cover the wall of the cavity the organ is. In this case, the organ is the lung and the wall is the thoracic cavity wall. Pleura. Pleura is the serosa of the thoracic cavity. Pleura is the serosa of the lung, a thin membrane that covers the lung, visceral pleura, and line the chest cavity, parietal pleura. You can see here the picture. This is the visceral pleura. This is the parietal pleura. Between both pleura is the pleural cavity. When the person have no disease, the pleural cavity is empty, a little quantity of fluid, but sometimes that are fluid inside the thoracic cavity between the parietal and the visceral pleura. You can see other picture here with the skin, subcutaneous, the rib, the muscle, and the most important, pleural membrane covering the lung, pleural cavity, and the pleural membrane. This is the visceral, this is the parietal. Pleural space, the small potential space between the parietal and visceral layer of the pleura, normally is empty. There are not visible fluid between the parietal and visceral pleura when the person is normal. Hemothorax. Hemothorax is blood in the thoracic cavity, but more than this. Hemothorax is blood between the parietal and visceral pleura. Blood or bloody fluid in the pleural cavity caused by rupture of blood vessel resulting from trauma or inflammation of the lung from pneumonia. Hemothorax, blood between the pleural, parietal, and the visceral pleura. You can see here the X-ray. This is not ultrasound. Of hemothorax, the area of hemothorax is this one, and the X-ray cannot pass through the hemothorax as easy pass through the lungs. Pneumothorax is the accumulation of air between the outer lining of the lung and the chest wall, causing collapse of the lungs. The air in the pneumothorax accumulate in the same place as the hemothorax, between the parietal layer and the visceral layer. You can see here, this is the pneumothorax and is between the parietal pleura and the visceral pleura. In the pneumothorax, that is all the area that is here, the X-ray pass through very easy, and this is the reason that you see black. This is the lung that was collapsed. This is the area of the pneumothorax. Ultrasound is not for the diagnostic of pneumothorax. Ultrasound is for other things, but not for this. Ultrasound, you can see pleural effusion between the pleuras, but you are not going to make the diagnosis of a pneumothorax. Looking the difference between a pneumothorax and hemothorax. In the hemothorax, the X-ray cannot pass through the blood and that appear white. In pneumothorax, or the contrary, the X-ray pass very easy through the thoracic cavity and are black in the X-ray. Pleural effusion is the most important for sonography. We help doctor to take the fluid of pleural effusion. We localize the anechoic, the fluid that is between the pleuras, and we help the doctor to take this fluid away, sometimes for diagnostic purpose, sometimes for therapeutic. Increased amount of fluid with the pleural cavity, usually due to inflammation. You can see the pleural effusion here between the parietal pleura and the visceral pleura. This is a CT scan. You can see que in the CT scan the pleural effusion is white. In ultrasound the pleural effusion is black. In other words, the pleural effusion appears in ultrasound as an anechoic structure. You can see here that the pleural effusion is very similar in the X-ray as hemothorax. The X-ray cannot go through the fluid and disappear like a white area inside the thoracic cavity. This is an ultrasound of a normal pleural cavity, and this is something that you can see here. The parietal pleura and the visceral pleura. This is normal. There are not fluid in between the pleuras, and this is normal. You can see here the shadows of the ribs because the transducer is in a longitudinal position. You can see the same similar picture in transverse position, and also there are not free fluid in the thoracic cavity between the pleuras. This is other photo. See the pleuras is through the liver. This hyperechoic area is the diaphragm, and also you can see the pleural cavity from the abdominal cavity. Sonographic signs of pleural fluid: hypoechoic fluid separating the visceral and parietal pleura, floating echogenic particles, in general cellular debris, moving citation with the plasma within the pleural space. This is clotting factors, moving lungs suspended with the fluid. This is the anechoic part. This anechoic part in the thoracic cavity is free fluid between the parietal and the visceral pleura. You can see here the accumulation of free fluid in the thoracic cavity scanning through the liver, but it's not in the abdominal cavity, it's in the thoracic cavity. Doctors, always you find free fluid in this area, need to know if the fluid is in the thoracic cavity or in the abdominal cavity. And sometimes you can have both free fluid in the thoracic cavity between the pleuras and free fluid in the abdominal cavity between the layers of the peritoneum, that is the serosa of the abdominal cavity. You can see here the septation. This is clotting factors. Clotting factor in the fluid that coming from a little quantity of blood produce this septation. You can see here also the septations between the cavities. Sonographic sign of pleural fluid with abdominal view: hypoechoic fluid, visualization of the inside thorax through the fluid collection, absence of mirror image, reflection from the liver, spleen above the diaphragm, inversion of the diaphragm with large effusion. This is very, very rare. I never see an inversion of the diaphragm with large effusion. Cause of pleural effusion: pneumonia, heart failure, and cancer. And they need some time to take the fluid to make the diagnostic of the disease. Thoracentesis: this is the procedure to take the fluid that is between the pleuras. Removal of fluid from the pleural cavity through a needle inserted between the ribs. This is what we're doing. We localize the place where is the fluid, and we help the doctor with the bottle to take all the quantity that we need of fluid inside the vacuum bottle. Thoracentesis can be diagnostic or can be therapeutic. When it's diagnostic, it's because you don't know the cause, you don't know the etiology of the pleural effusion, and with an examination of the fluid, you can know what caused the pleural effusion. The other is therapeutic because when you take away the fluid, the person breathes better, and this is for that sometimes it's both diagnostic and therapeutic. This is the position of the patient when they are to get a thoracentesis. But the removal of fluid in the pleural cavity. This is something that sonographer help the doctor. It's like nursing work. We localize the place where is the pleural effusion, we mark the skin, the doctor put the needle, and we help the doctor. We give the anesthesia, we give the different things that the doctor need, we working with the vacuum bottles. It's a easy work, but it's dangerous because always the fluid that you take from inside the pleural cavity have different things that nobody knows what is. In other words, can have a hepatitis, any quantity of bacteria, anything. And this is even thoracentesis are very easy, are a procedure that must be very, very carefully produced. This is one picture of a medical doctor taking fluid. This is the vacuum bottle. This is the sonographer in general working with the vacuum bottle. This is the medical doctor that is here. Remember, first you localize the area, and after you help the doctor to fill the vacuum bottles. And this is the end of this class. This is a short class. The next class is about the heart.